Christine and Pat, I want to thank you for your return visit to Haydocy Airstream. I'm going to do that walk around on the 25-foot twin, try to talk a little bit more in detail about what this platform represents. Let's face it, it's the cool factor, but above and beyond that, I told you I believe that the 25-foot twin is the most functional Airstream built on the planet. So let's take a look at the twin and we'll talk Airstream. 25-foot front bedroom. This one's a little unique because this is a twin. 25-foot front bedroom twin. The twin bed's obviously going to give us some things right away. We're going to have storage up front, which is awesome. These are lovely insulated doors. Diamond plate on the interior. I've got the LED lighting there. I love the look of the, and because it's a twin, I have storage on the side, on both the starboard and the port side. So I've got storage everywhere on the 25. These are the stainless steel wraps. We haven't taken off the protective coating. I've got the sunglasses. My sunglasses are all the Lexan wraps. These both pivot out so I can clean behind here with a piano hinge here and hinged up on top. The overhead Lexan will pivot out so that what I can do is create an awning. And when I create that awning, what is really cool is that I have tempered glass inside, Lexan outside, so this is going to provide that protection. The 25-foot also comes with an additional port access for my 30-amp service. So if I'm doing a pair of maybe the Honda or Yamaha generators, I put it right into my pack right here. Dual 12-volt deep cell batteries. This allows me with that inverter system to stay off the planet. Twin 30-pound propane tanks, and yes, they have that beautiful brushed aluminum cover that goes over. The Barker system. The Barker system is the electronic jack that allows me to level, but also it helps me with that ease of setting up my hit system. So I love the power that's created from the Barker, but also the ease of operation when it comes to setting up and leaving the planet. The other thing that is encompassed in the front end of an Airstream is going to be the spare tire. It's located at an undermount. It is a full spare. And guess what? Nobody knows it's there, no UV light on it, so I'm really going to extend the life of my spare tire. As we walk around, you're going to see the radius Airstream windows. Then you have, once again, additional storage on the exterior of the, this allows me to, all my stuff is going to store properly in a 25-foot twin. Then you get to kind of the fun stuff. You've got an outdoor shower, hot and cold running water. If grandma's coming out of the lake, we can hose her off. We got the dogs, or kids, whatever, hot and cold running water. My potable water resource is locked, which, by the way, it's located so that everything on this, most 70% of the weight of this Airstream is from the floor level down. That's allowing me to roll down the road better than anybody on the planet. We talked a little bit about that Dexter axle system. Independent, basically wheel suspension with no lube hubs and never adjust brakes. That's all about maintenance. We talked about also this beautiful membrane finish on the Airstream. The maintenance, the care is really what you want to put into it. You like to wax something, I'll give you some wax, have a ball. But because of the way that Airstreams are created, they're actually created for less maintenance so you can enjoy your time at the campground. Underneath is where we're going to find the brains. What I mean by that, our septic system on the 25 twin is located in front of the axles, meaning I can't damage it. Beautiful. Those knife valves are locked into place, unlike most of the other travel trailers out there. And then we have the dual axle system, which also has shock absorbers. The Dexter axle system, which by the way, was created for Airstream back in the 60s. To me, some of the concept of Airstream is what's really neat is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Zip D awning, utilized back in the 60s. The same axle system used today was used back in the 60s. That's all about the best of the best, if you will. Then back here we have our 30 amp service hooked up. We have our access port for both the our satellite and our cable, because a lot of those parks come with that. And then they've gone to this beautiful brushed aluminum cover for our furnace, which, by the way, it's still all electronic. You're not opening or closing any valve. You're not doing anything as far as, it's all electronic ignition. No pilots to light. I want to just make quick reference to all the light that pours into the 25. You have a rain rail. Everything is tempered glass. Airstream loves to let the light in, but they manufacture their own windows, and they're all jalousie type, meaning that they all pivot out. You have a 3-position pivot system, and the bottom line there is, guess what? If it's raining, I can still get air moving through my Airstream. Come on around. I want to just point out quickly, yeah, we got the beautiful panoramic wraps, LED lighting. Interior, all LED lighting. Exterior, all LED lighting. Our running lamps, all LED lighting. The other thing about the 25, guess what? I have a bumper. I love the bumper. The bumper allows me to store my stuff. And this is, and by the way, we talked a little bit about options. Fiamma out of Italy makes a beautiful bike rack. That bike rack still can bolt to the outside sides and allow me access to my entire trunk in my Airstream. Once again, a lot of business on the back end of an Airstream. Let's talk awning. 20 plus feet of awning as you walk into your Airstream. The great thing about it is, first of all, look at the light that's going to pour in actually from the door itself. This is an aircraft style door where you have the screen door that closes. And then when you close an Airstream door, it closes. And of course, when you pick that door up, it's going to grab the screen. You've got the people protector, you've got the kid and the dog protector. It takes Airstream 8 hours just to manufacture one door. That's about the period of time that some other guys can produce an entire RV. That goes to the quality of what Airstream is all about. You have your LED lighting outside. You have additional GFI outlets here. You've got the beautiful porthole windows. This is the 25-foot Flying Cloud Twin. Okay, guys, as we walk into the 25-foot Twin, obviously what catches our eye is all the beautiful cashew upholstery, all of this wonderful maple radiused cabinetry, but the nuts and bolts are all right here at your fingertips. First of all, you have all of your lighting, and by the way, it's all on dimmers and rheostats, so that all of your overhead is going to be handled at your fingertips. Your exterior lighting is all here. You have an outside rail lamp, which is really cool, LED. If you leave that on and you leave the planet, your keys, you can get everything right there. Then you have the exterior LED lamp that's going to light up that whole awning. Everything is right there. Your battery disconnect is at your fingertips also, and it's kind of simple from the standpoint it's either store or use. It will illuminate when you're plugged into shore power, but the bottom line is when you're leaving the planet, if you want to disconnect that battery, you go to a store position. If you have left a lamp on in a closet or one of the back reading lamps, automatically shuts those down. Then you have an additional 110 outlet here, which is going to allow you to plug in something for the patio underneath the awning. Also, just to have that additional for when you might utilize it for storage, from the example here that I have of the additional storage you have for the countertop. Then you have this great little area here. To me, what's that for? That's for your slippers. Everybody loves the look of the Airstream. Everything is right at your fingertips here. Let's not discount the storage we have under mount, and certainly the storage that we have on as you enter. So once again, the entries to the 25 don't get any better than this. The 25-foot front bedroom. What do I see here? Well, I see the light pouring in. The light from the overhead skylight. The light from the Radius Vista View windows that goes directly to all of this light that pours in from the tempered glass Radius Airstream windows, which, by the way, utilize this beautiful brushed aluminum ocean air shade. So I have all this light pouring in. Then, of course, what makes the look here is the entire wraparound panoramic window. And we talked about this, guys, that view out the back. If you're going to that beautiful campsite, you're pulling into that, what are you going to see out the back of your trailer? That's going to be the trees, the pond, the creek. That's where you're going to want to have this beautiful view. Then you have, of course, the opportunity here with all of that air moving through. You've got an overhead fantastic fan which will exhale all that air, so I can open up the entire platform here and move tens of thousands of cubic feet of air. While we're talking about overhead, we know that the LED lighting is on a rheostat, but it is not only will it utilize far less power, but as the new look here in the 25 is going to be all of the ducted AC, which makes for a very clean silhouette, but it also allows me to shut each individual vent off at the resource. So if you do have guests, guess what? Why don't we we're going to cut off all their air and just push it up front where we're sleeping. Why not? Then, of course, you have here, you have the beautiful cashew upholstery. You have the table that certainly just flips down, locks into position. So I got that dual sleeper here. I have a pull-out for another dual sleeper. But the great thing about that is if I want to drop the table, I can set up a lounge, if you will, that's going to, I'll have the TV at my feet here, and that's kind of a cool look as far as how beautiful that sets up. Then we'll talk about, you've got this, these are all bolted. These are all on spring mechanisms. Electronic-wise, we have the Clarion sound system. We have a subwoofer. So we want to blow the doors off the neighbors. Let's do that. Then we have the Blu-ray player, additional USB ports, and also a USB port with both the opportunity to use that inverter system, but also set up my computer for streaming, things like Netflix or something like that. By the way, sitting right here, Airstream has got away from the crank handles. We now have an omnidirectional antenna. Where I'm standing right now, I get 28 channels of free TV. Yes, they still send those signals out in the air. How about that? Now, you have LED reading lamps at each corner. And by the way, they are, once again, the whole concept of LED, very low wattage, so meaning that I'm drawing very little power. When talking about that, here's an example. If we look under here, you can see I have two different outlets. That secondary set of outlets is from our inverter system. The inverter system to me is, well, it's important. Why? As I'm rolling down the road, if I stop at the rest area, guess what? I can not only plug in my TVs, I can plug in all of my, maybe an appliance, maybe a computer, but I can run off my batteries and basically work everything on the planet using that inverter system, which I think is really kind of cool. I do want to just make mention quickly about the cashew ultra leather upholstery. What that is that this comes to us from the Mercedes-Benz people. It is a synthetic product, but you can't scratch it. So the dogs, the kids, grandma, you come in your wet bathing suit, it'll take all that abuse. Also, the big positive, it breathes. What does that mean? It will adapt your body temperature, so you don't get that hot, sticky thing in the summer. You don't get that cool, slick feeling in the winter. Once again, the setup. By the way, let's pause and reflect on the interior of the Airstream. But like I told you guys, where are you going to spend your time? I'm hoping we're going to be outside under that beautiful awning. But let's check out middeck. The galley setup in the Airstream obviously starts, I suppose, with the high-rise Moen with the deep well stainless steel. You certainly, from the standpoint of storage, I've got limitless storage, along with fun things like the ability to put my trash can in. We can set you up with water filters that will handle all of that. Obviously now we have a lot of counter space here. You've got the, I would call it the signature porthole windows, which also utilize the ocean air shades, LED lighting over the entire deck area. Now we have a European vented fan here. The great thing about that is I still have access to all of my storage, and not only that, I have a 3-burner high output range, and this allows me also, you see underneath, instead of an oven, we've gone with the convection microwave. So I'm cooking with that hot air thing. I have the microwave here, and it allows me to have a little more storage. You've got chest of drawers with inserts that Airstream does, which I find are really nicely accomplished. And these are all, they've gone to, everything in the Airstream locks into place. Now, I want to also point out our brains of the operation. This is our computer system where we are monitoring everything. We're monitoring our battery, we're monitoring all of our tanks in percentages, and our pump is also located here because you're drawing from 2 different water sources. Then you have a GFI outlet here. Then we have our inverter system. We can hook that inverter system up, and allows us to use all that fun stuff rolling down the road. So once again, the lavatory, the setup for the kitchen in the 25 is awesome, but this is where it becomes fun, and that would be our pantry. This is all adjustable shelving. You have the side-mounted ride, so once again, whether it be canned goods, tall boxes of cereal, Airstream does probably a better job with its storage than anybody on the planet. While we're talking about the kitchen, we've got the big Dometic, and I think you guys remember me talking about how the Dometic has a brain. What do I mean by that? It's an automatic setting. If I'm plugged into shore power, and let's say I've gotten ready for my trip, I've completed my, put all my stuff into my refrigerator, I pull that shore power, what happens? Automatically, it switches over to my propane. So I'm cool when I get to the campsite. When I plug back into shore power, guess what happens? You're absolutely right. Switches right back over to the optimum resource. So I can run it any way you'd like. While I'm here, I'm going to point out the big screen TV. These are all HD LED TVs. It allows us to work off of the batteries because of the inverter system. And they're all Samsung. The picture quality, frankly, is, well, it's better than what I got at home. So once mid-deck setup in the 25, and I got space, it's absolutely beautiful. As we moved a little further aft in the 25-footer, we have the opportunity now, and since we've gone to the ducted AC, we can shut off the entire mid-deck from all the living space in the front. That also allows us to do some fun things. If we have guests, the master bedroom sets up where someone can be utilizing the lavatory, someone can be utilizing the stand-up shower. This is all beaded glass, which is really cool, and we have access to our large wardrobe. But we have a secondary enclosure that if I'm in the master and I want my guests to have access to mid-deck, certainly that becomes applicable. Come on back, I want to show you some of the toys. Additional lighting for the shower, pebbled glass interior. You've got overhead 12-volt fans. You've got LED lighting on the interior. And by the way, it also has a seat in there because we're all going to practice conservancy when it comes to our water. But obviously you have 2 options from that water, drawing from my freshwater tank or my plug-in city water. Come on back, let's look at the lavatory. You've got the porcelain Dometic. You've got the same stainless steel Moen. You've got storage galore in the bathroom. You've got overhead dual LED lamps along with 12-volt fans. And then you have your access here for your water heater shut off and your lighting. So, and guess what, guys? I got plenty of room to change my socks. Master bedroom, twin, front bedroom. couple of things present. You've got the beautiful panoramic windows, which by the way have the Lexan sunglasses on the outside for protection, but also UV. While I still have all that dramatic light, and I certainly have all the wonderful air moving through, the one thing I also have is this will probably be the coolest spot on the planet because of the UV protection. Then storage-wise, I've got overhead storage here, overhead storage above the secondary twin, and an additional wardrobe space. But what becomes most important is where I'm standing. If I'm closed, I could put 3 or 4 people back here. This becomes a beautiful little seating area, if you will. And I have the additional television back here, HD LED, along with my nightstands, which, by the way, in the 2015 model year, not only have we upgraded all of the mattresses to pillow top, they're beautiful, they're longer than the queens, and I have also USB ports and additional 110 outlets for my nightstand. On the twin version of the 25, I have exterior access for both sides and also the front. So as far as the setup on the interior, and once again, an additional fantastic fan. This is the 25-foot front twin. Don't get any better than this. Christine and Pat, thank you. Thank you for coming back to Haydocy and checking out the 25. I know you went to the factory and you know a little bit more about that detail. Give me a call if you can. Area code 614-279-8880, or you can reach me at eric@haydocy.com. 2 things. I want you guys to enjoy the journey, but most of all, happy camping. And do me a favor, say hi to all the alpacas.